What is up everyone, FPL Harry here and welcome back to another video. FPL has officially started. That means the weekly trended videos are all back. Today we're going to have a look ahead at my transfer plans for Game Week 2. What is up everyone, FPL Harry here, welcome back to another video. Today it is my transfer plans video. For anyone who is new around here, this is a weekly video that I do every Sunday evening or maybe Monday if it has to be pushed back. Then I look ahead to the following week, I look at my team, how I'm lining up, potential transfers out and the potential replacements and players that I'm interested in buying for my squad at the beginning of the week as a reaction to the football that has gone at the weekend. So my Game Week 2 lineup is lining up like this. It is the same as we had for Game Week 1, apart from my rotating goalkeepers have been rotated. Ward from Leicester has dropped to the bench as he goes away to Arsenal, and then Sanchez of Brighton comes in with that Newcastle at home fixture. In my defence, we start with Trent, Robertson, Cancelo and Trippier again. Midfield, we have that double Arsenal in Saka and Martinelli with Salah, and then Pedro Neto with Jesus and Haaland leading the line. Again, above me, you can see I've got 0.0 in the bank. I didn't leave any money in the bank for Game Week 1. I wanted to, but I didn't quite have the option to with the squad that I built. I have one free transfer as well, just like all of you do. Again, after Game Week 1, while I'm recording before any of the Sunday fixtures take place, I am ranked 1.7 million in the world, which is definitely an okay start. Hopefully Haaland, Cancelo and Ward can bring up a few points today as well. I'm on 51. Let me know how you've got on so far in your Game Week 1 score. Now, Game Week 2 transfers completely based off players that I'm not being impressed with in Game Week 1, and of course those are going to be the players that have blanked. Trent and Robertson of course in there, but I'm going to hold my nerve on them. Diaz in midfield didn't score for Liverpool and he would have been my third Liverpool if I hadn't have gone for Robertson. They didn't look that great defensively against Fulham. Fulham pressed them very well. I'm hoping that they find their feet and find their confidence again a bit more than they did in that opening fixture, but I'm not going to go selling them after 1 week. Then elsewhere, Gabriel Jesus did blank. Arsenal looked really good. He definitely could have had a goal or an assist, particularly when Martinelli missed that almost open goal. It would have been a Jesus assist. Again, I'm owning these guys for the first 4 or 5 weeks. It was going to be the first 4 where they played Bournemouth and then Fulham as well. But after that, they also play Aston Villa at home. And given Aston Villa lost 2-0 to Bournemouth in Game Week 1, I might even hold the triple up for those first 5 fixtures as well before I look to move one of them on. Again, the only other player that we've really got here is Pedro Neto. Now, Wolves only managed to score 1 goal against Leeds. If you're only scoring 1 goal against Leeds, I do have a bit of a concern about how good you're going to be going forward. Now, without Jimenez, this was always going to be a concern, but I did think they'd be a bit better than maybe they were. They caused Leeds a few problems here and there, but it wasn't nearly as much as I thought. Neto was good on the ball, but again, didn't really look clinical in front of goal. So for me, Neto is really the one that I'm looking to transfer out. Now, I could just place him on my bench because first sub, I do have Andres Pereira of Fulham, and Fulham looked so good against Liverpool, and Pereira was so involved, playing as that sort of number 10 behind Mitrovic. He's on corners as well. He definitely could have had some attacking returns, and I think he's going to be a great option that will score points throughout the season, and not necessarily a player we want on our bench every week. And a fixture, again, he goes away to Wolves, Neto versus Pereira. That is a call that I do have to make, and I haven't quite decided. At the moment, I would start Neto if I don't decide to sell him, but this is how I'm lining up. Captaincy-wise, again, we'll talk about a little bit at the end, recording before the Manchester City game, but I think it will be Salah or Haaland. It will really depend on how Manchester City look, because that Bournemouth home fixture looked plumb, but given that they just beat Aston Villa 2-0 and have signed Neto from Barcelona in goal, I worry about maybe how easy a fixture it's going to be, and given that I expect a Liverpool bounce back, it could end up on Salah. But let's talk about Pedro Neto, some potential replacements for him as well, because he's the one I've got my eye on. So Pedro Neto, 5.5 million. Of course, I've got no money in the bank, so I can only really bring in someone who is also 5.5 million or below. Again, I need to keep an eye on price rises to know if the potential player I'm bringing in is going to go up in price or Neto's going to go down in price, for example. I do my best early on in the season to hold my transfer as late in the week to get those press conferences in, but there is always a lot of price changes, so I do need to keep an eye on those as well. The potential replacements that I'm looking at, I've got a 5.5 and a 5 million, but in terms of Pedro Neto, he plays Fulham at home this week, which makes it a little bit more difficult to sell him. Although Fulham were really good in Game Week 1, those two fixtures of Leeds and Fulham were part of the reason that I did want to own Neto. Game Week 3, they do play Tottenham away, but as I said, Pereira, who I do want to start occasionally, has Brentford at home, and I could definitely just sub out Neto and play Pereira in that fixture. Now, after that, they do have Newcastle at home, and I'm a bit undecided about whether I want to play Neto in that fixture because Newcastle looked really good against Nottingham Forest, solid defensively and good going forward. So I'm not sure how much they're going to get there, although it is a home fixture. And so far in game week 1, we've seen a lot of home teams outperform the team playing away, as we saw with Fulham versus Liverpool, for example. However, one of the reasons that I might want to hold Neto is this game week 5 and 6 fixture that they have. Bournemouth and Southampton are two of the best fixtures that we should be looking to target. Southampton just looking like they are not ready for the season, conceded 4 to Tottenham in game week 1. Although it's Tottenham, they just didn't look ready defensively. And Bournemouth away, okay, they beat Aston Villa, but it is a fixture that you would still probably want to own an asset for, and Neto is in my team. But we've got 3 replacements. Let's get them up, and I'll talk to you about why they're the ones that I'm really looking at. So 3 potential replacements. There is one on here that I haven't got because I'm recording before any of the matches on Sunday. Visa at Brentford is also an option that I'm looking at. Again, priced at 5.5 million, was good at the end of last season, and they have a nice run of fixtures from game week 3 onwards. So I could potentially look to keep Neto for game week 2 and then move to Visa sideways when we've got Neto playing against Tottenham, for example. So I'll keep an eye on how Brentford perform today, and he's definitely one I'm looking at. The 3 replacements we've got here is Aronson at Leeds at 5.5, Pedence also at Wolves at 5.5, and Almiron at Newcastle at 5 million. I've gone with Almiron over Leon Bailey again. I wasn't particularly impressed by that Aston Villa match, and again, that Bournemouth fixture was the real reason why people wanted to own Bailey. So after that, their fixtures from game week sort of 4 onwards get a lot more difficult, so I feel like I've missed the boat on him. Almiron again, although he didn't score, he looked good. Newcastle looked good. They don't look like they're necessarily signing a right wing to replace him, so it looks like it's Almiron's spot for the foreseeable future. Their fixtures are okay. Brighton away and Wolves away in their next 3 with that Manchester City fixture. They are playing 3 teams that are notoriously good at defending. Brighton away, Wolves away. You probably expect to be better for the Newcastle defenders for clean sheets than necessarily going forward. I might look to potentially go back to Almiron for sort of game week 5 or 6 onwards because they have nicer fixtures for that run. Now, the other ones we've got, Pedence, also at Wolves, looked a little bit more central, a little bit more involved than maybe Neto was in that game week 1 fixture. It is very difficult to see myself going on a sideways move, but for example, in game week 2, if Pedence scores again and Neto blanks, I might have to consider that sideways move because he did look slightly more involved and did, of course, score the goal in game week 1 for Wolves against Leeds. And the final one, the real one that I'm looking at, is Aronson of Leeds. They have a good sort of attack, Bamford back fit. We wondered what would happen with them without Rafinha, but Aronson looked like he's helping out. Rodrigo looked good, Harrison looked good, Bamford there as well. They look like they're forming that sort of attack, those 4 of them going forward. They do have a really nice run of fixtures and do play Southampton in game week 2. Again, we've spoken about targeting Southampton with Neto. I could do it with a move to Aronson straight away. Now, game week 3, they play Chelsea, but again, I'm quite happy to play Pereira of Fulham in that fixture as well. Game week 4 away to Brighton. Again, it's difficult from an attacking point of view. Then they play Everton, Brentford and Nottingham Forest from game week 5 onwards. Could be a really nice time for me to move for Aronson. Again, I'm a bit undecided, but Leeds are a team that we know like to score goals. One of their assets at 5.5 million in the attack, he did score and then it got ruled out in game week 1. FPL took it away for him. I really like what they can offer, and with that opening run of fixtures, he could be one that I could go with. Whether I move now, we'll have to look at the price rises again. I'll keep my eye on whether Neto's going to go down, Aronson's going to go up. Luckily, because that goal got ruled out, I don't think Aronson's necessarily going to rise in price, but he's probably the one I'm keeping my eye on the most. So this is how my team is lining up. I'm really looking at Neto as my potential transfer out this week, but I could even end up benching him for Pereira as I was so impressed with him game week 1. Again, I'm recording before any Manchester City game takes place, so in theory, if Haaland or Cancelo gets injured, I might have to reconsider this video and re-record it all over again. This is already the second time I'm recording it because I forgot to turn my microphone on, so I recorded it and had no audio. What a great start to the new content for the season. But this is how we're lining up. Captaincy-wise, I'm going to look at how Haaland performs against Bournemouth. If it's really good, I may end up moving my captaincy armband from Salah to Haaland. Again, whoever's not my captain will be my vice captain. So first transfer plans is I'm going to roll my transfer, keep an eye on Neto, who could move to Aronson for that Southampton fixture in game week 2. However, we have seen home teams be the better performers so far in game week 1. So having Neto at home versus Aronson away, I might just keep it on Neto for this week and see where I land with game week 3. Again, try and hold your nerve on any of your transfers. Game week 1 is the most difficult game week of the season. We have a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty, so I would potentially hold your transfer if you can, unless you've got injuries, unless you've got a transfer that you really want to make. If you've got Kane and you're looking at Haaland and Haaland does well today, potentially look at making that sideways move, because I do expect Manchester City to do well against Bournemouth. But as I said, try and hold your nerve and roll your transfer if you can. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Pre-season support was absolutely amazing. Thank you all. We are here for the whole season. We're going to have 3 videos a week plus a live stream as well to hopefully get you the best rank you possibly can in FPL and win those mini leagues. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.